Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think earlier today I made a video using an Ukrainian media outlet, so an article from, I think it was Ukrainska Pravda or the New Voice of Ukraine, where they reported that the Russians, according to the article, started fleeing the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And they over there were obviously hinting that the Russians are ready to blow the nuclear power plant up. They don't have any evidence, and I was making a point during that video that that would be immediately blamed on Russia if that tragedy occurs without any evidence, because that's the way we function in our civilization, or at least this is the level of, I don't know, the reasoning that these guys want us to drop to. It's understandable, but most people don't need evidence. They need just pathos, no logos. But, people in charge know better. So that was the first article where I said, what's going on here? Are they going to attack the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant? Why are they talking about it? Well, here you have an article coming from Ukrainska Pravda, another Ukrainian media outlet, where this guy that I love a lot, Mr. Danilov, says that a Russian terrorist attack on Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant to be considered as nuclear weapons use. I totally agree that that whomever hits that power plant should be a nuclear disaster. But I have a question for Mr. Danilov. What if Ukraine attacks Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and, destroys it, and we have a nuclear disaster? Should that be considered a nuclear weapon use, or that's only for the Russians? You already know the answer. We won't do it. And the question would be, why? Because we're good and they are bad. And end of story. Then you go and you pray. So here we have Danilov coming out and already telling us that Russians might do it, so get ready. So let's read what this article has to say about Mr. Danilov. Oleksiy Danilov, Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, has said that, and here is how he starts shaming people, stated that civilized world will consider Russia's probable terrorist attack on the occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant as, and I'm quoting, the use of nuclear weapons against the civilian population. Would it be considered the same thing if the Ukrainians do it? Now here, probable, all right, not possible, probable. So that means the decision has been already made. And you see how they use this? They try to shame you. It's like you would tell a woman or a girl, you want to date that girl, and you do all kind of hanky-panky what you do and try to get her attention. And when you get closer and so on, and she refuses your advances, you say, well, if you don't love me, you're stupid. So anyone should love me, otherwise you're stupid. Basically, this is what the guy says. All civilized world should consider it. So if you're not considering how Mr. Danilov wants, how he wants it, then you're not civilized. You got that? Now, obviously, that should be considered a nuclear disaster, horrible disaster. And this is the way it's probably going to work if that occurs. Whomever is going to destroy that, we already know who's the guilty one. And we know that the Ukrainians will start trumpeting it was them. 5 minutes after that, the Americans and the free media will pick on that and will trumpet it that the Russians did it without any evidence provided or needed. I have two massive, actually I have 4 massive examples to back my statement that that's the thing, that's the way things will go. I will use first the terrorist attack on Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines. Immediately they said, without evidence, is Russia. And this guy says, yes, it must be Russia. That was the first one. The second one was when those missiles, I think there were 2 missiles that fell in Poland, S-300 missiles. Remember those ones? And about 5 minutes, the Ukrainians, the leadership, when I say Ukrainians, I'm not saying Ukrainian nation. So understand that it's the guys in charge of the Ukrainian nation that's dying for. Okay, got that? Okay, if you got that, we got that. So here we have the missile S-300 falling in Poland, killing 2 people. The Ukrainian leadership pointed the finger immediately without any evidence. Must be the Russians. The Russians did it. And immediately told the Poles, you are a NATO country, you were attacked. Everybody else must, based on Article 5, go and attack Russia. And then what happened? They say, whoa, take it easy. These guys here say, what, a Russian missile. And they said, no, wait a minute, it wasn't. Okay, so there was another example, a false flag. False flag plus the mass media. The third one was when the Russians conducted one missile attack from the Black Sea, and the missile was going to Lviv or Lvov, former Polish town. And on its way there, again the Ukrainians claimed immediately, and the media here picked it up immediately, that missile crossed 30 kilometers on the territory of Romania, over the territory of Romania. Again, the Ukrainians claimed, you are a NATO country, your airspace was violated, Article 5, NATO, you gotta attack Russia. The Romanians said, hold on, time out. They scrambled whatever 2 airplanes, and after that they say, well, it was not actually on our territory, it was in the territory of Moldova, about 15 kilometers. That was the third example. And the fourth one was the dam in Kakhovka Dam. Again, they did it, these guys immediately, with no evidence, they did it. Now, did they do it? I have no idea, but I don't know if the Ukrainians did it. But nevertheless, here, from we don't know who, got to immediately, yes, they did it. And in the annals of history, if things remain as they are, it's going to be Russia blew up the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant dam. And now, after all these 4 examples, what do you think I should, or what method of reasoning I should use in order to anticipate who's going to be the guilty one if, I hope it doesn't happen, Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant is going to be blown up? Do you think I have enough evidence to say, and patterns to say, it's going to be the same thing? You bet your ass it's going to be the same thing. So regardless who destroys that, we will be informed with no evidence. The only evidence is going to be provided is it was an attack on the nuclear power plant. That's all we're going to know. Nevertheless, these guys already were going to point the finger at a suspect that will be mentioned by party involved in a war. So let's see if Danilov provides evidence here. And I'm quoting here, the very fact that these terrorists carry out such a terrorist attack on a nuclear facility will be considered by all civilized countries to be the use of nuclear weapons against a civilized population. Therefore, we will watch very carefully if, God forbid it happens, which reaction would the world have following these events. Say, they will watch. Okay, therefore, we will watch very carefully which reaction would the world have. That means he's going to be like this. All right, let's see how you guys are going to vote today. That was in the communist times. So, who's for? Okay. Who's against? Okay. Any abstains here? Yeah, all right, good. So, unanimity. That's how it was. I've been through that as a child in school. We were all voting, but you kind of knew what you were supposed to do. And it was just a mockery, you know. They were just teaching you for future, events. So again, he's going to be watching. Do you think that the Russians cannot say the same thing as Danilov said? And do you think if he, let's say Putin or whomever, Peskov will come out and say such a thing, he will be taken seriously by these guys, which is a serious matter, or they will say, blah, 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 probably they're gonna do it, and they're just trying to, a false flag operation there, so they can blame the Ukrainians. They will immediately use their critical thinking, immediately. But on the other side, 4 examples I give you. And this might be the 5th one. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.